Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Yo, what's up, you guys? How you guys doing? It's your boy DJ Mad Scientist, and yes, indeed, we are having our hot takes this week. What? I know, I know. Let me start off by apologizing and then explaining. Like, don't you hate when people like have an explanation for their apology? Isn't it like better if you just apologize and then just let it happen? Well, maybe so, but I wanted to at least apologize because it was not here last week at all on Wednesday or Friday. But I have a good reason. I'm telling you, I have a very good reason. Hold on. I'm drinking water. I'm drinking water. Yes, I do have a good reason. Okay. Now, if you're thinking, what's the reason? Who you think you are? Mad scientist? I mean, you can't just like do us like that. Get us all hooked. Got us coming here, shouting us out, and then you don't show up. I know. I get it. Okay. But I do have good reason. Okay. Before I get into my reason, though, because I want, some more people to come in. Before I get into my reason, let me at least tell you this first, which I got to do. I got to do. I mean, it is what it is at this point. Y'all know what's up. Okay. MadScientistMusic.com. Got my merch right here. Believe it or not, the hoodie is the most popular. Well, maybe you can believe it. I get more orders for that than anything. Okay. So go check out the hoodie. Got some really great colors, really great designs. People really like the logo every time they see me with it on, which shout out to my manager for telling me that. He's like, yo, if you want people to buy your merch, you gotta wear your merch. The thing is, I'm not a merch type person. Well, I am, okay, but I'm so Nike. I'm just like so into Nike, right? Like that's been my entire life, Nike and Jordan. And that's what I wear. And my manager's like, well, do they pay you? And I'm like, not yet. I want to be Jordan's first DJ signee. Like, and which makes no sense at all, but because I should have my own merch. But I'm pretty sure we can work out the details between the Jordan company and myself, and we can go ahead and get that done. You know what I mean? Anyway, check out my merch store, please. Really, really appreciate it if you do. Um, it would be great if you could check it out and go buy it. I will tell you this. I tell everybody this. If if you want it to be baggy, buy a size up. Okay. If you're like a large, normally it's gonna be fitted, get an extra large. If you're like a small, normally, get a medium. But you want it to be baggy, get a medium. Like go up. Okay. So definitely make sure you check out my merch. And there you go. I've done it. Now, I was not here last week at all for neither one of my lives. The reason I was not is because I was finishing up an album that I was working on. It's not my album, but I am the producer. And so last week, I was like 2 weeks late. And last week, it was like I could do my normal lives and everything else, and then keep pushing the album back. But it got to the point where it's like I had no more time. Like I had to get it done last week. So I wanted to just let you guys know I'm not sleeping, I'm not tripping, I'm not like quitting or anything like that. I know we're a small community, but it's okay. I'm cool with it. Like I'm good. But at the end of the day, it's like I needed to get that done. And I told you guys, I'm not like retired DJ where it's like, okay, I've already been great. And now I'm just going to sit here and just talk on the mic because I don't want to go out anymore. At the same time, I'm not somebody who was a DJ and failed at it. And so now I'm just going to go and have a podcast and talk about it like I was really good at it. No, I'm really good at this. And I'm actively working as a DJ, which you got to do promotions. I also do production. So I'm still doing beats and there's a lot of things that I got to get done and sometimes my schedule does not allow me to do everything I want to get done. So not that this is like a last on my list of things. It was just I had to get that project done. So that's my excuse. You can call it flimsy if you like. You could be like, "Oh, that's some BS." Okay, that's cool and all that, but at the end of the day, that's the life that I live. Okay. Now, kind of give you a preview what we're going to talk about on Friday is that I am going to give you a recap on the album, on the production process. Okay. So just like I review other people's material, I'm gonna review the material that I just finished. And no, I'm gonna be real because I mean, am I totally happy with the project? There are some things that I wish we could have accomplished. And I sat down and talked to the artist, and I'm gonna see if I can get him on a Friday, so we can kind of do like a rehash, of what we went through as artists. But so there were some things that me and artists were like, man, I wish we could have got that done, you know. So I'm not gonna give myself all tens. At the same time, there are some things I'm very, very happy with, because um just kind of give you a preview of what I'm happy about. I created my own kick. I took the time to learn how to create my own kick, and I think that creating that kick and not as opposed to sampling a kick, doing that has been a great benefit to me as a producer. It's giving me my own style, my own sound. It's readily identifiable. And hey, Erica, what's up? What's up? I already gave my excuse for not being here last week. I was like, yo, I'm like, I was finishing up an album project that I was working on. And that album project was like 2 weeks late. And pretty much last week I had to do it. So I did not stream last week at all, because I had just had to get it done. So just wanted to let you know that, that's why I wasn't here, but I'm back. I was so happy that that project is done and over with because pretty much it started to get in the way of everything. And but at the end of the day, it was a commitment that I had to finish up. And it's like, you know, gotta do it, gotta do it. So anyway, like I said, I'm gonna give a review this Friday of my album, and I'm just like I go with everybody else, lyrics, songwriting, or lyrics, composition, production, everything. I'm gonna go through it. I'll give you not just a review, but I'll give you what we went through and what was our assessment after we went through it. What was our assessment of the total project creation? Because we did it within, I would say, a month and a half. Like everything was done. It was like 8 songs, a month and a half. And so I'm gonna talk about all of that. Hopefully it's helpful to you guys that are out there, because at the end of the day, it's like that's why I'm here. I'm showing you what I'm going through on my way to getting famous. Okay. This is not a teaching, it's not a how-to, it's Mad Scientist is blowing up, and I'm on my way to where I want to go in life. and you guys get to see it firsthand. So, like, you know, once I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I got this big event, I'm gonna invite everybody. I'm gonna pay for it. Just like, yo, just come. Boom. Here's your tickets. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go and let's have a good time and let's celebrate. Me blowing up. All right. So, um, first thing we're gonna talk about is the Drake UMG update. Okay. Um, I was planning on reading the 38-page um ruling because like, I was going to be responsible that way, and a lot of people did. Like I could tell you online, there were a lot of people that went page by page. I'm not doing that. You can find people that went through page by page. Some people are actual lawyers, so they're able to like explain to you in detail. Um, I just didn't have time to read the 38 pages for the reason I stated before. So I didn't read the 38 pages. I did read the introduction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you guys the introduction. Um, where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? There it is. And the introduction is hilarious. Okay, so this is the Aubrey Drake Graham versus UMG Recording Inc. Okay. And this is from the Southern District of New York. Okay. Now, the reason why this is important is because this judge talks like she is from New York. Okay. And so it's kind of funny hearing someone who's from New York. I really feel like she's from New York or she's been in New York for a long time. Talk about hip hop because if you go through it, she's pretty much using legal language, but she's using regular people's language. And if you think about it, like, let me just go ahead and read it. Okay. Jeanette A. Vargas, United States District Judge. This case arises from perhaps the most infamous rap battle in the genre's history, the vitriolic war of words that erupted between superstar recording artist Aubrey Drake Graham, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, Lamar, or Kendrick Lamar in the spring of 2024. Over the course of 16 days, the two artists released 8 so-called diss tracks with increasingly heated rhetoric, loaded with accusations and violent imagery. The penultimate song of this feud, Not Like Us, by Kendrick Lamar, dealt the metaphorical killing blow. This right here, this sentence right here is so fire to me. Like it was funny, but it was fire because it's a double entendre because she's saying the metaphorical as in like, everybody is saying that that's the killing blow, but at the same time, we all know that Kendrick is metaphorical. So it's like a double entendre sentence. The song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of being a PDF set to a catchy beat and propulsive bass line. That's another one that was so funny to me. It says the song contains lyrics explicitly accusing Drake of being a PDF set to a catchy beat and propulsive bass line. That is crazy. I mean, well, let me just read it. Let me finish reading it first. Not Like Us went on to become a cultural sensation, achieving immense commercial success and critical acclaim. So that is the introduction. If you want to read it for yourself, the 38 pages, you can always just Google it and then Drake versus UMG, and then it's right at the top, but it's a file, it's a PDF file, okay, and so you just click it, and I will tell you this, it's a very entertaining 38 pages. Okay. Okay, let me explain this to you. Okay, so there's three levels of courts. There's the district level, the appellate, and then the Supreme Court. Okay. At the district level, that's the beginning. That's the at the bottom. That's what the first judge that you'll see, or the first court you'll see. And typically what happens at that level, that judge and the attorneys involved have to do the most work. They have to gather all the evidence. They have to gather all what they call the discovery. They have to do all the interviews. Okay. That's where the bulk of the work is done. When I say the bulk, I mean 90%. It has to be so the record has to be so complete that when it goes to the appellate, up to the appellate is really not doing anything but looking at the legal process. Hey, did the judge, go through the legal process correctly? Were there any rulings that were in error? As in this case, the ruling was to dismiss. Okay. Um, were there any other mistakes or errors within the process? So when I say that the 38 pages filled with very, very detailed information, it is filled with very, very detailed information. It goes into um, what is actually defamation. It defines that. It's She dismissed it because essentially what she said was, "Look, there's no actionable um, accusations in here. There's nothing." Her position is everyone within who listens to this genre, who understands hip hop, who understands battles, they understand that everything that is said is untrue, is innuendo. It's a lot of language that is insulting, but everyone knows it's not true. And everyone has said, including myself, no one thinks that Drake is a PDF. Okay. No one thinks that. But it was entertaining to watch. And that's what we responded to. Okay. In addition, the judge talked about how, which a lot of us in hip hop, we said, Kendrick Lamar was responding to what Drake said. And the crazy thing for me, and like I said, if you're really, really interested, if I had the time, I probably would just read the ruling on my own, just because it's really, really entertaining. And what I found really interesting is how, like, I felt like she's a hip hop fan, or she listened to hip hop music before. Like, this is not her first time ever hearing hip hop, and she understands it. And it felt like um, she probably studied the entire battle, because she started quoting different parts of the battle. And speaking of quotes, I have to say this. One of the funniest things is that she ended up quoting and in writing the last the opening line for Not Like Us, and ended it off with a minor. So it was almost like if Drake is reading this, he has to read the judge, you know, cite the first verse, like, say, Drake, I heard you like him young, you know, and the whole thing, right? That was hilarious to me. But back to my point, he went through every aspect of every song within the disc series, and she was breaking it down and analyzing it. And to me, that was like so incredible that she did that work, and then, gave her citations. Um, Another interesting thing that she talked about was how she cited Drake at one point in time before this battle had said, I study rap battles for a living. Okay. Which means that you knew, you had an understanding of what could happen if you entered into the rap battle. You had an understanding of what the potential damage could be. So it's hard to say that I was damaged when you engaged in a rap battle that could potentially damage yourself metaphorically, right? So, like I said, I'm not going to go through the entire, you know, um, thing because I think Joe Budden pretty much summed it up when he said the judge just basically said that Drake is a B word. And that right there, when he said that, that just pretty much dropped the mic. Nobody's doing any more deep analysis of it because I mean, pretty much, and I'm not saying I'm a Drake hater. I'm not, and I promise you, I'm not. I still play Drake music, um, but when Joe Budden said, "Yeah, Drake's a B word," that was it. That just closed the discussion. And so it would make no sense for me to try to do some deep analysis. I just wanted to talk about it because I wanted you guys to know how I felt. Overall, I said, and this is how I feel about the situation. Last summer, I wanted Drake just to drop an album. Just drop, drop, drop. Okay, please just drop an album. Forget about the battle. Like you lost, and that was it. Let's move on, and you drop an album so we can get back to business. That's what I wanted last summer. He gave us Nokia, which was great. We played it out here in California. The people respond to it well, but that was it. The other ones that start coming out, nobody really liked it. Okay, like I don't play the one with any of the other ones that came out. I don't even know the name of them, to be honest with you. And I'm not going to even like look it up. It's not worth it. But pretty much everyone just like Nokia. If he came up with more music like that, and that's not even on his album, that was on Party Next Door. So that might have been a record he just did like before the battle. That one was probably due. Okay. So I wanted Drake just to drop music. Just drop music because I mean that's our relationship, right? You provide music, I'm a DJ, I'm gonna play it if it's fire, right? And that's our relationship, and I wanted to keep it going. Did I think that Kendrick Lamar won that battle? Yes, I do. Am I a hip hop fan? Yes, I am. Am I a fan of Kendrick? I'm from Compton. Of course, I'm a fan of Kendrick. I listen to Kendrick's music, like I study it. Okay. Like I'll sit there and just analyze it, study it, go through it because I love his music that much. But I'm not going to take away from Drake, especially because I personally, and I've said this many times, I don't mind saying it. I personally thought that Drake was going to win the battle. I thought that Drake was going to drop the banger for the summer and we'd all be dancing. And I would have to say, oh, well, that's okay. Kendrick is still the better lyricist. That's what I thought was going to happen. You know, I thought I was going to have to make up all kind of excuses for Kendrick. Did that happen? No, didn't happen. And that to me was the biggest shock. We're going to talk about this project a little bit more later on. But as for this project, as for this subject, I think it's pretty much over. I, I would be surprised if Drake can recover from this. I think the last word said about Drake is Drake's a B word. All right, y'all, listen up. We got the DJ Mad Scientist Friday Night Hype. Yes, I have to do my I have to do my own I'm not big yet, okay? So I have to do my own sponsorships, okay? The DJ Mad Scientist Friday Night Hype every Friday night at Agave Ultra Lounge in downtown Long Beach. 10 p.m. until 2 a.m. The hottest hip hop, R&B, reggaeton, and party vibes, club bangers. Every Friday night at Agave Ultra Lounge in downtown Long Beach from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m., 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Get in free before 11 on the guest list at www.agaveultralounge.com. That's the Mad Scientist Friday Night Hype every Friday night at Agave Ocean Lounge in downtown Long Beach. The address is 200 Pine Avenue in the beautiful city of Long Beach. If you ever come to Long Beach, anybody come to Long Beach, hit us up. We're definitely fire. You can hit me up on IG at sign Dumad Science. That's at sign Dumad Science. That's DAMADD Science. Hit me up and I'll definitely get you in, take care of you, guest list, bottle service, and a good time. What? That's what I'm talking about. All right. Last night, I got a chance and an opportunity. Now I know I'm gonna be probably I'm probably not going to be um the most popular person talking about this subject. Timbo's Tata, new music review. Okay. I'm not. I just kind of feel like I'm because to study for this topic, I'm looking around for different points of views. Like I want to hear the pro side and the con side. And I heard nothing but con. Okay. People universally hate the fact that Timberland has this AI artist named Tata, right? People have been hating on it for a long time. I mean, this is not something new. I think we've talked about this before. Um, here's well, first let me should I do a recap on how I feel about AI, or should I do a review of the song? Hmm. Let's do a review of the song. So he dropped the music video about 5 days ago for Tata. And so I gave it a review. Okay, just like I always do. I have my criteria. You guys know my criteria. So let's go through it. For lyrics, I gave it a 5. I mean, I'll be honest, the lyrics are kind of trash. Okay. But that's to be expected. You know, Timberland was never the lyricist. And I'm pretty sure he's not gonna find somebody um to write like a real ghostwriter to write. So, Timbaland was not the best lyricist, and the lyrics on the song was a 5. I gave it a 5. Okay. The composition, which is the music, I gave it a 9. Now, let me tell you this. I don't believe that Timberland used Suno to make these beats. Why? Because I've been listening to Timberland, Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott is one of my favorite female rappers. I still play her music. Okay. I love Missy Elliott. I've been listening to Missy Elliott and Timberland for years. I'm talking about for decades. Okay. So I know a Missy Elliott, I know a beat that's made from Missy Elliott when I hear it. And to me, in my opinion, the music is very consistent with what Timberland was doing for Missy Elliott and himself. A lot of people forgot he wasn't just a producer. Timberland has a project out in which he did music for himself. The music he did for himself was more EDM-ish. Okay. Whereas Missy Elliott's music is hip hop and very minimal. Okay. There's a couple of albums. Let me go ahead and give you guys Missy Elliott albums. Okay, not the Super Duper Fly, not that one. Not the Super Duper Fly. Under Construction. Okay. Let me share it so you guys can actually see it. So you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is Missy Elliott's Under Construction, right? If you go to this album, which has Work It on there. So you've heard this album. If you've heard Work It, okay, then you've heard this album, okay? Listen to this album, and that way you'll get a better understanding of what I mean about minimalistic hip hop. This is very minimalistic, very just beat driven. Okay. Work it. It's not a lot in it. It's just DJ stuff. Okay. It's a DJ song, right? It's just a beat, right? And a bunch of DJ sounds on top of it. Okay. Because a lot of people probably don't know this from your era. Timbaland started off as a DJ. He was not, the Neptunes were in a band. They played traditional instruments. Timbaland was a DJ. So in his own right, and you have to understand when you're DJing, a lot of times you're adding elements to make the song that somebody else knows interesting. So for me, I have sirens, I have bass drop, I have other sound effects, horns to go over to hype the crowd, okay, to make the song that you already know interesting. And so Work It is just a combination of all that stuff. Okay. It's got some samples in there, you know, from Peter Piper, Run DMC. So when I say minimalistic hip hop, listen to that album. You'll definitely, enjoy it and you'll understand. Then when you listen to Tata's first joint, then you'll understand it, you know. And then in addition to that, let's go over Timbaland um first album. Okay. No, that's not what I want. Timbaland disc. Okay. Stock value. Yeah. Okay. Timberland shock value. Hold on. Let me find. Let me go back and get it so you guys can actually see the. That's the one. It won all kind of awards, right? That's the one with all the bangers on there, right? If you go listen to this album, okay, then you'll understand what I mean when I say. Hold on. Okay, so if you go listen to Timberland shock value, that's not what I wanted to see. Um, yeah, there's a picture of it. There you go. Okay, Timberland shock value. Go take a look at that. Okay, you see it. Okay, go listen to that album. To me, Tata is a combination of Timberland, the music that he did for himself, and the music that he did for Missy Elliott. I honestly feel that way. I try to give you a perspective that you're not going to get anywhere else. Right now, all you got is a lot of people saying, "Oh, I hate it," because they feel like Timberland should have got someone who is a real human, like maybe found another Missy or did the music himself, right? And that way, that would have been way better. But what people don't understand, the people who are making these judgments and saying that he should do it, don't understand that the music industry has fundamentally changed, meaning that for someone to create an album, like I was looking at the Killer Mike interview that he had with Club Shay Shay. Look at that interview. Killer Mike said to create that album that he created, he had to spend $500,000. Now he spent $500,000 of his own money for that album. Okay, a $500,000. Okay, that's the reality of the music industry. Is that you spend a lot of money, but then when you put it out on platforms where people will accept it, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, the production, the distribution part of it is not paying any kind of money that is comparable to what you spend to create the album. Okay. In other words, if I create a product, no matter what it is, a bottle of water, right? If I have a bottle of water and it costs me $1 to make that bottle of water, my expectation is I can sell it for 3. Right now, you can create music and it will cost you maybe 500,000, but you won't make that money back because we aren't buying CDs anymore. We aren't buying vinyl. Yeah, okay, you have the niche people that say, "Oh, I want to buy a vinyl or I want to buy a CD." But you don't have the large quantity of people buying CDs. What do? We go to Spotify, we go to Apple Music, we go to Tidal, we go to YouTube. And I can pretty much tell you they don't pay a lot. They pay pennies. So, in order for Timbaland to make the money back or Killer Mike to make his money back, he has to hit the road. Now, Timbaland, who is, I think he's like 50 plus. Missy, who's 50 plus, they may or may not want to hit the road. Okay. So that means Timbaland would have to like sign a new artist and go through all of that process. And he probably said it to himself, man, I could sign one of these young cats and I'm going to have to go through the drama. And he may feel like I don't have the skill set to be an executive because being an executive is a full-time job. I may not have the desire to be an executive, and I don't want to spend a lot of money on someone who's not going to give me, and I'm not going to get a return on it. And that's just the reality of the music industry as it is right now. So to address the AI issue again with the people who may feel like they want to hate on it, um, the the reality is that number one, the composition and production on this album is uniquely Timbaland. It didn't sound different. I've been listening to Timbaland for decades. It immediately when heard it, I said that is a Timbo beat, and I don't care if he made it on a Suno. He made it sound like him before Suno, before computers, when all he had was a MPC. It sounded like Timbaland. Okay, and there's 2 songs that the Tata artist is singing. I would say go check it out, just out of and get your opinion of it, and then let me know. You can comment, on this video when I post it. You can comment, tell me, come back and be like, "Yo, mad scientist, you crazy for this take. I don't agree with you." But to me, it sounds like Timberland. Now, the artist, did she sound like Timbaland or Missy? No. Okay. It's an AI artist. And a third thing that I tell people all the time, and it's reflected in the lyrics. AI artists are never going to like be better than a real human. Number one, AI does not understand culture. AI is only learns, but it cannot predict what's in the future, or else we're done. Like people are going to be using AI to predict all kind of stuff. So AI can't create the culture. It can only mimic what's already out. So by time AI gets to wherever it is, that cultural expression or that cultural the cultural lyrics or the culture or the dancing or anything else that comes that the AI may express has already been out. Especially when you're talking about hip hop or any kind of black music. Black music changes every day. Black culture changes every day. Black culture changes every hour. There's new words that come up. AI is never going, and Black people put a lot of our culture into our music. In fact, we put all of our culture into our music. Okay. So AI is never going to be able to predict Black culture because AI is not Black. AI is never going to be able to predict Caribbean culture because AI is not Caribbean. AI is never going to be able to predict, African culture because AI is not African. Okay. Now, if you notice, the two artists that are out so far, Tata, and there's another one that sings. I'm not going to look it up because it's horrible. It's created by two black people, right? It's created by two black people. And even with that, the problem with another problem with AI is the vocals sound very European. So therefore, all the people were like, "Oh, they're going to be able to like be a AI rapper." AI still sounds European, and that's just my opinion. If you go on Suno and you make it rap, it's going to sound like a white guy rapping. That's essentially what you're going to get, a white guy rapping. And so that's another drawback to AI. Now, production, I gave it a 9. Cultural relevance, and if you haven't been here before, you don't know what I mean by cultural relevance. Meaning, like, is this person or is this song going to touch the culture or change the culture or make people think, make people talk? I can pretty much tell you, I said not applicable. Okay. I think people are going to talk about it just so they can get likes and clicks. So because people are going to be interested in hearing what everyone has to say about it. But for the culture, no, she's not adding anything to the culture because AI can't do that. Okay. She's not, no one's going to listen to this Tata person and be like, I want to live my life like Tata. Okay. I don't know. Erica says AI can become a new culture. I'm glad you said that. AI is a culture within itself. Over in Asia, they actually have um, anime and other AI creations in which that's its own culture within itself. So I wasn't surprised that Tata looks more Asian, okay? Because he's probably going to market to that Asian market. So yeah, Erica, you're right. Um, AI artists are going to become their own entity. But is it going to interfere with traditional artists? No, because on the only way you can own the song that you write is if you contribute the lyrics or the music. If you just make a full AI song, you cannot own it. That is law. You can look it up. You cannot own pure AI music. Secondly, the platforms are always going to limit. So Suno is going to limit what you can do with the music that you create. So no one that is serious is going to create something on Suno and it have limited ability to exploit whatever creation they come up to. If I can't make money off of it, I'm not going to make it on Suno because at the end of the day, I want to be able to own what I write. And if it blows up, I definitely want to own it. Okay. So cultural relevance, I said non-applicable. Overall, I was going between a 7 or an 8. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to make it a 7 or an 8 because the production, if you listen to the production is 9. There's no way you can doubt that. And no one can tell me that Timbaland is a bad producer. Now you may say I don't like his song. Okay, every song that Timbaland wrote, I didn't like. I didn't like all of Aaliyah's stuff. But you can't tell me that the production was bad. That you cannot tell me. So the production's good. The the making of the beat is good. Timbaland is the master of making beats, but the lyrics are fine. So overall, I just gave it a 7 plus. I'm more leaning towards a 7 than an 8, but I couldn't decide if I really wanted to give it a 7. So I gave it a 7 plus. That's what I did with that. You guys can comment on this and let me know how y'all feel about this Tata situation. I will tell you this. I am in the minority. If you want to get Tata hate, there's a lot of Tata hate. And I'm kind of surprised that, people really don't like Timbaland for this. But at the same time, I realize that, yeah, because a lot of the people who are coming after Timbaland are younger. You know, he's over 50. You know, I'm not that age, but I'm not 20. So it's like I get that the younger people are like, this is trash. But I can pretty much tell you I've been listening to Timberland long enough. I know a Timberland production, and for the most part, I think he did a great job with it. And I think that over time, people are going to say, okay, he's responsible enough. And let me say this, and I'm gonna end it with this. You got to understand, Timberland's best friends, Timberland's counterparts are some of the greats in the industry. Timberland is best friends with Dr. Dre. Timberland's best friends with Jay-Z. Timberland's best friends with Swiss Beats. Timberland's best friends with Young Guru. And these people are the greats of the hip hop industry. And all these guys will go to Timberland and be like, yo, you're not gonna do this. If it was foul, if it was a violation, they would have went to him before we did. They would have went to him and said, nah, you're not doing that. So the fact that he's able to take care of it, and none of those people came out and spoke against it, okay? None of those people came out and said anything negative about it, should tell us that don't know Timberland, and a lot of us, not me, I do, don't know his music. I think we need to just sit back, chill, relax, okay? And kind of like Erica says, in a year, Timberland's going to be seen as a genius, okay? I mean, think about this, and this is hip hop, and I'm going to end it with this. They were like, why is Timberland, and I remember when they were saying, why is Timberland and Swiss Beat doing this versus thing? At the beginning, people were like, why are you guys doing this versus thing? Oh, it's garbage, it's trash. And by the end of it, when you had the locks on there, everybody was talking about it was a great hip hop moment. And that was the versus series. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's get into the next topic. I want to update these next two right here are going to be short. I just want to update you guys on what's going on. Nicki Minaj is talking about being done. I'm gonna just read the article. It's coming from TMZ. So if you want to see the whole article, it's on TMZ. Nicki Minaj scrapping my 2026 album, and it's all Jay-Z's fault, which is funny. She has this thing about Jay-Z. I don't know what's going on with that. I've heard certain things, but she's got it in for Jay-Z, like an old Caribbean woman now. She's gonna put a root on him and voodoo and everything. Okay. Nicki Minaj is now announcing her recently teased March 26th album is being scrapped, and she claims it's all Jay-Z's fault. On Wednesday, the Barbs were sent into a fury when Nicki directed the blame at the Rock Nation's boss, rarely used account. Yeah, he's never on that Twitter account. He says, okay, I'm not putting out an album anymore. No more music. Hope you're happy now. At SC or at Sean Carter. Bye, Barbs. Love you for life. Nicki then took the opportunity to roast Jay-Z about his failed casino bid while offering up another claim that Rock Nation offered a make good with an album and tour package deal. Hearing Desiree Perez talking about how she was begging for 40 M's and told no, old broke nation, how'd you go so effing broke? Like who in their right effing mind was signed to you? LMFAO. No successful tours, but vibes and bots. Gotta look that up to see if that's true. They came begging the Queen for a tour and album. I said nope. LMFAO wanted to patch it up. They needed help from the Queen and the Barb. Nicki gloated before adding, it was resounding no, just like the casino. And then she added, Desiree Perez, you got bigger fish to fry, bookie, conspiracy, false imprisonment, civil rights violations. Let me see, page 6, Us Weekly, LMFAO. Nothing you say will stop what's coming. Cry harder. I think you're going to jail, Desiree. Casino. Nicki has been going hard at Jay-Z and Rock Nation CEO Desiree Perez in spite of her beef with Cardi B. Yeah, that was ugly. In pursuit of an alleged $200 million they owe her from the title deal, and still no word from Jay yet. Um, I don't know. Nicki claims that they owe. Nicki claims that Rock Nation, Jay Z, Desiree Perez owe her 200 million. Because if you remember a while back when they created Title, Jay Z went to all these different artists that he knew and said, "Hey, let's all pitch in together and create Title." And then I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jay Z sold Title. Let me see how much Jay Z. I know I should have already had this. Sold Title for how much? Jay Z a majority stake in Title to Square. Jay Z sold a majority stake in Title to Square, now blocked for a reported $297 million to $302 million in cash and stock. While initial reports varied, the final reported price was $302 million when the deal closed in May 2021. So, um, yeah, that was Jack Dorsey's company, Square, that bought a piece of a majority stake, not a piece, but a majority stake of Title, right? And I guess Nikki feels like she got shorted out the deal. Am I inclined to believe it? Well, I will say this: Dame Dash is saying the same thing about Jay Z when it comes down to all the Rockefeller stuff, the label and the clothes and everything else. Dame Dash feels like he got shorted out of that. So there is a history. There is a history of Jay Z, you know, probably disrespecting some of his partners. Okay. But no matter what happened, Nicki Minaj, I kind of feel like she's going to hate Jay Z for the rest of her life. It just feels like that. All right. Should I do a sponsor again? Nah, I'm not gonna do the sponsor. I'm just gonna keep it going. We're almost done. We got about what? About 5 more minutes. Okay. Rolling Stones. They have published their predictions. Okay. This is from the Rolling Stone article written by Andre G. 2026 Grammys Best Rap Album is going to be a face-off between Kendrick and the Clips. Kendrick Lamar's GNX and Eclipse Let's God Sort Them Out represent some of the genre's best lyricism. This year's best album race should come down to Kendrick or Clips. I agree with that. Even if the other three nominees are all worthy in their own right, Lamar and Clips, however, are lyrical titans. Yes. And while you can't go wrong, we think the Academy will favor the project from a Grammy darling, which they call him they call Kendrick Lamar a Grammy darling, which also made more of a commercial splash. So here's the nominees: Clips, Let God Sort Them Out; JJD, God Does Like Ugly; Kendrick Lamar's GNX; Playboy Cardi, I Am Music; and Tyler the Creator, Chromacopia. Okay. Those are the nominees for Best Rap Album. And let me go back to reading the article. Who will win? Kendrick Lamar, GNX. Now, this is his opinion. I'll tell you my opinion, but this is his opinion. How long does the aftermath of a tidal wave last? We'll find out this year, as Kendrick Lamar's work on GNX will likely be up for several awards, including Best Rap Album and Album of the Year. The album came as somewhat of a surprise after an already banner year for the Compton rhymer, vanquishing Drake with Not Like Us, a song that won a whopping 5 awards during the last Grammy ceremony. But GNX showed Kendrick delving deeper on who Us is, with what veteran journalist and genius VP of music and content Rob Markman says is an unapologetically West Coast sound on his latest project. Okay, I'm not going to read the entire article. Then they say, who should win? Clips, let God sort them out. Clips have been having a banner year before and after releasing their highly anticipated Let God Sort Them Out. After a 15-year absence, the Virginia duo delivered a masterclass buoyed by Pharrell production that embodied their classic sound for a new era. Rob Markman says he thinks Clips should and will win, citing the album's heavy, familiar themes. Obviously, the Thornton brothers are reunited, but he feels the album has several other moments that defied the reductive. They only rap about coke jab, the poignant John Legend assisted Birds Don't Sing about losing their parents, Pusha's reflection on losing a child on All Things Considered, and their reflections on their grandmother's history in the drug game. Markman says the sophisticated, well-written project is a testament to aging and growth in rap that deserves to be applauded. So the what's going on? Hello, mic check. Okay, so to summarize it up, to sum it up, pretty much the top, the article stated, the two top albums, and I've listened to all of them, including Lil Wayne's. Like if there was a Razzie Award for albums, he would definitely win it. Busta Rhymes dropped. A lot of people, Nas dropped an album. Um, and then this past week, Mobb Deep dropped an album. In my opinion, what I would like to see is let God Sort Them Out win Best Hip Hop, and then give Kendrick Lamar Best Album of the Year. Clearly, Kendrick Lamar has to be rewarded for the work that was done, but the production and the impact that that album has had, not only on the industry. I mean, if you go on Instagram and you look up any of his, or TikTok, and you look up any of his reaction around the world, not just here in America, but around the world. Kendrick sold 65,000 tickets to people in Mexico. We're talking about to people in Mexico, 65,000 tickets, and they weren't $1. So he didn't make, and those people love the project. That has to be noted. He was going into South America. He was going into Europe. And all you saw was footage of the whole audience bouncing to Kendrick's music. The impact that the GNX album had on the planet, I don't think can be really described in like one simple term, you know? But at the same time, I would like to see Let God Sort Them Out. I would like to see it rewarded in hip hop, because that was a well-produced album. And not only was it produced, but the rollout and the production and the marketing was excellent. And I think that if we want hip hop to keep moving forward, we have to reward, we have to highlight the best of who we are and what we do. And so I think in my perfect world, Let God Sort Them Out. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Let God Sort Them Out will win Hip Hop Album of the Year, and Kendrick will win Album of the Year. All right, y'all, that's it. That's my time. I've got to go. I really appreciate all you guys. Erica, thank you so much for being patient, coming back every week. I appreciate you so much. If you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comments section. Also, please, please, please like, subscribe, and share this, because it's what I do every week. Okay. All right. I will see y'all on Friday when I see y'all on Friday. Peace out, y'all.